for getting your pot on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Sometimes I don't know what to think. Because the weather's so, like, schizophrenic this time of year.
Yeah.
Like today, where we are, near 70 degrees and pretty nice. There was a little bit of a breeze as days gone on. It's supposed to be back in the 30s tomorrow.
Right.
It's like a 40-degree drop.
First day of spring.
It's
wrong.
Like Mother Nature's going through menopause or something. I don't
know. It's upstate New York. This is what we do.
I was seeing that. I was talking to somebody today. I did the old guy thing. I stopped in to see a friend at a bar. Had a couple of pints, and they introduced me to some guy. And when you
sounds like a Billy Joel song.
Yeah, I know. It does. You know what? Stopped in. Yeah,
Stopped into a bar. Saw a friend of mine. Had a few pints of beer. And then I woke up the next morning in my underwear, wondering how the heck I got here.
That's pretty good.
I used to make fun of my brother with my guitar playing. So I'd take songs and just switch the lyrics around. I got really good at it for a while.
So there was another guy there that they knew introduced me, and the guy was talking about the weather. He was older than I was. This is what old guys do at the bar now: is you talk about the weather. That's like
Paul
the icebreaker.
Is a novelist, weather man.
Yeah. So I said, I have not seen. I said the one thing I will say. There's something about the weather that seems very different to me this year. And actually, when I stop to think about it, the past couple of years, it's been different. We haven't had this that I remember. Now, we had a winter where we almost like one of the old school winters. Not record, but we had a lot of snow.
Yeah, a lot of snow. It wasn't like we weren't socked with snow.
No.
Like 490 wasn't shut down.
Nope.
There weren't like power lines being brought down. It wasn't
Nope.
Well, none of that yet. I mean, that could still happen, but it was just cold. It was a La Nina year. And in La Nina years, we get worse winters than El Nino years when the rest of the country does.
So, yes, I think that's all true. But there's one thing that I feel like has really stood out and is very different. And I would say I do not remember winds like this on a fairly consistent basis. Do you remember winds this way? Like when you were growing up and stuff? I don't remember the winds like this. I don't remember tornadoes hitting New York State.
I remember the Scorpions singing a song about it.
Yes,
but I don't remember.
The wind of change?
Yeah. Like I remember the last time, like 1 year, I think I had to be, I was living in the city at the time, but it was post my first marriage. It was a day like today, or a day like Wednesday, but the winds were high. And it started knocking down power lines. And then we had a next day, which is a lot like what's going to happen Thursday, where the weather got cold and it started snowing, and then people were screwed for a week with electricity problems.
Yes.
But that was one big windstorm. I don't remember it consistently being this windy, but then again, I never really think about it.
All right. But I think the wind has been wilder this winter than past winters. And I think when you think back over the past couple of years, we've had wild gusts. And then I come back to the studio and I see a story that there are icebergs, literal icebergs, building up on the shore of Lake Oneida, which is in Syracuse, because there are 60 to 70-mile gusts that come across the lake, and they pile up the ice on the North Shore, and it's slamming into like a boathouse or someone's property.
John Kutchko takes pictures of stuff like that.
Yeah. It's literal like icebergs, and it's all being blown together, right? It's big ice off the lake. And I go, I don't remember that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just don't remember it. I don't remember that. Maybe somebody who lives down by Oneida Lake can say one way or the other, but I don't remember that. And the winds are flipping wild.
Yeah, it's been a windy winter.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it seems strange. I don't know that it's global anything. I often think the wind is...
It's not chemtrails, Bill?
Mother Nature's way of cleaning everything out, but what do I know? I don't know.
It just happens to be one of those years. I wouldn't read anything into it.
I read into the wind. The wind is freaking me out a little bit. Good tornadoes.
Well, the wind really affected those wildfires.
Wind cries Mary.
In LA.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
We had those hurricanes.
We
had those hurricanes that everybody forgets about. The poor
is
people.
Oklahoma on fire now?
Are they? Is it
something?
It could be. The NCAA tournament's coming up. We need a distraction.
Foody will be in later on today.
I love Foody.
We haven't seen Foody in a very, very, very long time. I won't bring up why, but what are you laughing at?
No, nothing.
It was my big fat mouth.
Of course it was.
Yes, of course.
It's your show, bro.
It had nothing to do with on the show.
It had nothing to do with the show.
It had
but it has nothing to do with it's something to do with your mouth.
Yes.
Yes.
I just have sometimes I get so fed up I can't keep it bottled in.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying to be better and better about that, but sometimes I just kaboom. That's it. Kaboom.
Kaboom. Yeah.
All right. Do we want to talk about a teacher who claims that she's being targeted because she's hot and accused of something?
Go on.
Or
no, go ahead.
Or I found a guy who takes more supplements than you. Found the guy who takes more supplements than Dan Barillo and expects to live to be 180.
Okay. Let's talk about the hot chick.
Okay. You want to talk about
the curveball? I could have gone either way on that.
No, it's fine.
We could talk about the other one next. If you want, I don't know.
Okay, so this is one of those teacher-student scandals, right? And I think this is in the town of Downing. I don't even know where Downing exactly is. Might be Connecticut.
To Downing, Connecticut, we go. Susan.
But here's the ironic part. This is a 30-year-old special education teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So
ooh, okay,
in Downing.
All right.
I'm just saying, like the words are too much.
It's another Billy Joel song.
Christina Formella is her name.
Formella.
Mm-hmm. Man, I would have gone.
Miss Formella.
No, I would have kept. No, if I were in high school with her, or even if she were my teacher, I would have called her Miss I smell you or something.
Yeah,
there would have been a smell you.
Yeah,
in there.
right.
It's built for smell you.
Low hanging fruit, Billy.
Has been accused of molesting a 15-year-old student. She was arrested after the boy's mother found incriminating text messages, denies the allegations, claiming the student hacked her phone and framed her for blackmail. Now, hang on. I know everybody goes, oh, it's impossible. I don't think it is impossible. I don't. Not today. Prosecutors, however, say they have evidence of sexual contact and argue she abused her position. I'm pretty sure they got her on a traffic stop. Like they pulled her over. Like she was out like on a Sunday morning and they got her. Despite the severity of the charge.
Just go to her house?
I don't know. I think I have no idea. She was released on bond, but must avoid all minors and her former school. While male teachers in similar cases often receive harsher sentences and public outrage, Formella's defense is already raising eyebrows, suggested she's being targeted because she's good looking. She's good looking.
Targeted by whom?
Well, by this kid.
Because usually good-looking people typically get away with more.
And she cared too much about the students. But you're a special ed
teacher, so you should care.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope so.
The case brings up serious issues about power, accountability, gender bias, and when it comes to the teacher-student abuse. But
she's using hot girl privilege as a defense.
You got it. Now, if this were a male teacher,
or hot girl discrimination, which is hot girl privilege, you have to be hot to use one or the other.
I always love, like, to me, when I think of hot chicks, right? Mm-hmm. There are women, and you can get mad at me for saying this, but you could literally go through life rent free.
Yeah.
I mean, really hot chicks that take care of themselves and about could find a rich guy, ride that. If that guy dumps you, you're already up in that circle, right?
I know a couple people actually who fit that description perfectly.
Sure. And that 1980,
we both do.
There's a 1980 song, country song. I forget who sings it, but it's called One Man's Trash is Another Man's Treasure. It's all about a lonely woman crying at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Now he comes up to her, puts his arm around her, and next thing you know, shines her up.
There's always a rescue.
It's called recycling. But I go, society tends to treat these cases with less outrage when it's a woman. Don't you think?
Of course it is.
Well, but we do. Like, there's something about it that it's still probably bad. Again, I always go, what are we missing? I watched the Kobe thing again.
Okay.
I had to find out. I kept falling asleep, so I had to find out, why is he not talking to his parents?
Is this while he was wearing 8 still, or did he switch to 24 yet? Did they get to that part yet?
No, he was at 33 when he was in high school or something.
Okay.
But he was 8.
This is early.
The reason why they didn't talk was they didn't want him getting married. He did a rap video. She was a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
He met Vanessa, fell in love with her instantaneously, went back to his trailer, told his assistant he's going to marry her. 6 months later, they were engaged. And Kobe was 18, 19 at the time.
He bought the engagement ring at the mall.
And she...
Did you ever hear that story?
No.
Jim Rome did a whole week on that.
And she was maybe still in high school, coming out of high school. And his parents just thought it was too young. And they stopped. They were all living together in LA. And they moved back to Philly.
Oh,
and
wow.
He hadn't talked to them. They didn't show up at the case when he was charged with sexual assault. Wow. They didn't show up in court.
Wow, there must have been a real grudge there.
Mm-hmm. So
talk about control.
Yeah, right.
That's what it's all about.
It is. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. But I had to go back and see that just to make sure that I wasn't. I wanted to know what is it that will have you stop talking to your family?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Don't get us this tonight. I need to get to the bottom of this. What happened with Kobe and his parents?
But I think with Kobe, there again was there less outrage because he was a celebrity over that sexual assault case. It seemed to kind of go. I'm telling you, you've got to watch it. But again, as I watch this thing and they're reading back the statements that were made to the police by both Kobe and the woman, this 19-year-old woman, it makes you feel like in the moment, what else is happening that he felt like this was okay? Because it seems very out of character to him. And the way they portray it is he walked in, he met her, she takes him to his room. He says, "Can you give me a tour?" She says yes. They go back. He says to her, "Can I have a hug?" She says yes, and he starts kissing her. I feel like there's something missing. Oh, at this case, I got a 30-year-old woman and a 15-year-old kid. What's missing? What is the kid? Let me tell you something. Kids, we can all say it's a 15-year-old kid. A 15-year-old kid is a 15-year-old kid. I have one. I understand. They're also exposed to way more than you even know.
Oh, gosh.
Because of the phone.
Yep.
They're way more mature, or maybe not emotionally mature, but they certainly can act it. They know how. I mean, look, most of us learn how to do things by what?
Oh, osmosis.
Mimicking.
Yeah.
Mimicking. I watch
Everything's learned behavior.
Yes, I watch you. I do that. So if I want to see, I can watch a video on how some cool guy picks up a chick. I know what to say. I know the timing.
See, I'm one of those visual learners. I have to see somebody do it before I do it. I can't read it.
That's what I'm saying.
The directions. I got to kind of visualize it and see it. Right. Oh, that's where that goes.
Now, a 30-year-old teacher should know way better than to get involved with a 15-year-old kid. You really can't make an excuse.
Why do you have a number?
But at the same time,
first question.
At the same time, I go, what else is happening in this dynamic?
Was the kid special ed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm hoping not. Yeah,
I know. Right.
I'm hoping not, but I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, when you say what's missing in the dynamic, do you mean what's
he saying? What's his response to this stuff? Was he flirting with her? Did something? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you forget who you are. I mean,
was he appealing to her need? I mean, this has happened since Mary Kay Letourneau became the poster lady, who's now passed away, by the way. So she became the poster woman for these types of situations, right? She had a 13-year-old student. They end up getting married and stuff, and they got divorced.
Yes.
Right? They had a kid. She had his kid. She went to jail. She came out of jail. They ended up getting married. Since that situation in the 90s, all of a sudden, every month, there seems to be another one of these, and it hasn't stopped.
No, never.
No.
It's never stopped.
What is I don't get the attraction.
This woman says that this kid, she got a new phone. This kid got on her phone and sent a text to him he wrote a text to himself from her phone. I would think most phones have a passcode to get in, right?
Yeah.
Or Face ID.
What is she? What was he doing with her phone?
It's possible that I know that even as a substitute, when I would leave a phone out.
But everybody by now in this world where your information needs to be secure, the easiest thing you could do is come up with a passcode.
I know, but
and lock your phone.
Well, what if she just looked at her phone and then he pulls a move? Say, you call her over, right? And then I'm gonna grab her phone and it could be. I mean, it's not out of the bounds of possibility. Look, that was the defense of a case in Canandaigua by our friend, a defense attorney. He said, just because the text message was sent from that phone, it does not mean it was sent from that person.
We're talking in a court case. That's reasonable doubt.
Well, that's what I'm saying here.
Okay.
Like if they went to court, that's what she's basically saying.
Yes.
This is blackmail. I don't know why blackmail. Who needs to blackmail a special ed teacher?
Let's put it this way, though. There would have to be. Let's put it this way. If there's text,
you failed finger painting today.
If there's text, there might be other stuff there too, right?
Yeah.
And there's certain gaps. I mean, people study this stuff. Certain gaps in the text, that type of thing. I mean, I look at the whole thing and go, yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
You're saying she did it?
Yeah. I mean, like what? Like you have to have more than just my phone got hacked as a defense. There's got to be like alibis. There's got to be other stuff that because eventually that story would get found out one way or the other.
How about
whether he's telling the truth or she's telling the truth? There's got to be enough evidence to suggest that. They could go into forensics with the phones, social media, all that stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, I would think most people aren't going to be wasting any court's time or anybody's time to bring this case forward if this is it. Yes, the headline is special education teacher charged with molesting 15-year-old student claims teen sent text to himself from her phone to blackmailer. This happened in Illinois. She's 30. She's been a teacher.
There is a couple of exceptions, though.
Oh, wait. This happened in 2023.
Okay. So
wait, she was given down in December following her arrest Sunday after the boy's mother uncovered the alleged. No, it was Sunday. The married teacher, but she said it's called Ms. Allegedly told investigators that the student had broken into her phone and used her number to send himself inappropriate text messages to blackmail her. Why do I find that like I could actually see that happening?
Well, now that I think about it,
yes.
Okay, but you'd have to have real sophisticated technology to do this. Like there was a guy on Patrick Bet David's show explaining how phones could get hacked, and here's how. Like, no, I'm serious. You go to the airport, you never use a public those public chargers. Mm-hmm. You always use your own plug. You never plug
VPN.
Yeah, you use the block. You don't use the because those things could like get your information, and then someone else is controlling your phone. This happened to Bezos. There was a program called Pegasus, and if you installed this Pegasus program, you could basically you don't even need the phone. You could just access the phone with a couple of swipes, and bang, somebody took control of his phone. And they didn't even see his phone, but they had control of his phone. And the scary part was that this software can delete itself, and there's no trace of evidence that somebody broke into it. That's the thing. But I don't think a 15-year-old kid has that type of sophistication.
Maybe. I don't know. Here's the bad part. You call yourself hot, too. You use the, like, I'm attractive. She isn't unattractive. She's cute. Which almost sounds insulting.
Some people say I look like Janet Jackson.
More like Freddie Jackson.
Look more like Freddie Jackson. It ain't funny.
Saying you're too good looking is like saying my car is too nice. That's why I got a ticket.
Yeah,
you know what
embarrassment
I mean?
by riches.
It just doesn't work.
Oh, I make too much money.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the other thing
my
is
fourth car is in the shop.
If a 15-year-old can outsmart you, and they can probably, that also is a red flag for your teaching, I would think. And I don't know, power abuse.
I think there's also gaps in learning, though, too, right? When I went to Fisher, I remember Election Day 2000. That was when we had the standoff between Gore and Bush.
Yep, the hanging Chad.
Right. And I had to ask permission to drive home to vote because my registration was, my address legally was back home. Mm-hmm. And the professor goes, you're going to drive 2 hours away to go vote in this election. I go, yeah, it's what I'm supposed to do. She goes, okay, yeah, I get that. No problem. And two of the girls in the back of the class who were both ed majors said, oh, you could just vote down at the gym. I go, no, you can't. Oh, yeah, you can. We're going there this afternoon. I go, no, you can't. Why not? And the professor had to speak up and goes, what grade are you? Are you junior or senior? I go, why? Well, you would know that only town of Pittsford residents, I went to Fisher, could vote. And you have to be in that specific district to vote in that specific gym. So how do you not? These are college kids.
Ow.
My point is, though, there's gaps in learning. Like education doesn't necessarily mean common sense.
I agree with that.
You know?
I agree with that. But I don't know what'll happen.
I just the whole like my phone got hacked. Doug Gottlieb brought up a great point once. He goes, if your phone gets hacked, there's going to be money missing.
Most likely there's going to be money missing unless it is somebody trying to, I don't know,
plant something on your phone.
Your phone. It could be kiddie porn, which would be
right,
really
which would
bad.
be awful.
or it could be somebody trying to like make it look like you did send a text message.
But what is the motive behind a 15-year-old trying to do this?
This would be it would be to get a better grade, have some leverage over a teacher. And then the mother finds it, and now
but the mother found it. That's the thing, though.
Well, but the kid allegedly sent it from her phone to his phone and never erased it. She probably showed his buddies. Say, look what I did. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
But he still had to get discovered by the mom. It's not like he went to mom and said, "Mom, look what this teacher's doing to me."
No,
she's giving me a boner.
Moms do look. They're a mom. I should do that.
Like Jameson going to you, Dad.
I should do that.
Look,
more
this
often.
Teacher. Look what she's doing, man.
Yeah, I should do that.
See what's happening down here.
All right, we'll take a moment. I'll give you the world. Somebody who takes more supplements than you says he's going to live to 180. Maybe you've got something on your side now.
Okay. Is this the reversing age, dude?
Yeah, these are biohackers.
Okay.
You got it.
I want to hear about this.
Biohacking.
Of all the people on this podcast, though, I don't think I'm the one who needs to be biohacked the most. I think there's other people on the podcast who could use some biohacking.
I see where you're going.
I'm saying, like, no. I'm saying
you're punching at ghosts, buddy. People aren't even here to defend themselves.
Who can make fun of me for the supplements, but yet,
I'm making fun of you for something. Well,
you do it to my face.
Yeah.
Actually, they all do it, really.
All right,
it can be helpful.
We'll get to that.
I'm just trying to help people with this podcast. I'm here to help people listening to this podcast live better lives.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's what we do.
We will get to that
Beautify yourself
after this.
like you belong in
Little Danny riding around in Butch's truck listening to this.
Tell me what it is that you've been through. Cause you're much too pretty to be looking like that. Tears in your eyes, this ain't where it's at. Why don't you tell me what that boy has done
to you?
This isn't Ronnie Millsap, was it?
No. I'm surprised you could get this.
Trash is another man's
treasure.
One man's pain can be another man's pleasure. Why don't
I remember somebody saying to me once, look at, pointing out just this really stunning woman and goes, somebody's tired of dealing with that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That is Marty Robbins.
Oh, it is Marty Robbins.
Yeah, Marty Robbins.
I knew I recognized the voice. He had a great song called, if it was Marty Robbins, I'm Tempted.
Oh,
Tempted. It's a great. I think I played it on Classic Country Thursday. It's a great line about how this woman, like, he wants to mess around. He knows it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And not even cheat, but just like he knows that the woman, while she's beautiful, it's going to lead to trouble.
Yes.
But I'm tempted because she's beautiful and I'm tempted.
Yeah. Go home.
Yeah.
Go home. Go home. Don't.
I think Marty Robbins played a show in Livingston County last year.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How old will Marty Robbins be then?
I think he's in his 70s.
Okay.
Well, these guys, man, they got no retirement. They got to keep touring.
Yeah.
That what do you call it? That royalty money ain't what it used to be since streaming started.
How many supplements a day were you taking when the supplements became a deal? You had the
About 6.
AFib. So only 6.
Yeah, only 6. I don't go nuts. Okay. Like, I don't take a one daily. I was told by our friend that like one dailies really just don't do anything.
Who told you that?
Shorsha told me. It's like your body can only handle so much. That's why your urine glows, because you're just getting rid of most of it.
Yeah.
Your body can only take in so much at one time. Let's put it that way.
I will say this, the quest for eternal youth, right? As we're exploring space, people are going there. We want to live longer. We just had people, what were they, stuck in space for, they go for, can you imagine packing for a 1-week trip and finding out you're there for 200?
How do they do their laundry?
They don't. I don't.
Do you not get dirty in space?
Well, I'm sure your body's still functioning. There's got to be odors.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just, yeah.
So, Dave, if I say this name, maybe you'll know. Dave Asprey?
Yeah, Dave Asprey. Wears the glasses. He's got a goatee.
He's the father of...
He looks like a guy who was stuck in the 80s and was transported here.
Father of biohacking. 51 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He has spent over $2 million hacking his body to extend his life to at least 180. He spends $3,000 a month on supplements. Tell that to Beth. $3,000 a month on supplements, soaking in infrared light, chilling in hyperbaric oxygen chamber, and even zapping his junk for better erections.
Okay.
I don't know if he sounds like a taser.
Yeah, I know.
Start tasing somebody again. Oh, you're making me hard. Because apparently it's every body part. On the other side, there's this guy, Brian Johnson, and we've seen Brian Johnson for a while. I don't know if you've seen, he's a Silicon Valley mogul guy, anti-aging expert. I think he puts his own son's plasma into his
body. Yeah. Right.
He spends about $2 million a year to slow aging, and he claims that he ages in 1 year, 8 months.
Yeah, I've heard that claim from him. Heard that claim.
His extreme methods includes taking 100 plus supplements daily.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard him do that. And there's other guys like Gary Brecka and
but Gary Brecka seems normal.
Yeah, Gary Brecka. Yeah, Gary Brecka's pretty practical.
Yeah.
But if you use his stuff, it's expensive. Then there's Tony Robbins has Life Force. He's got a company. There's another dude who's got actually a pretty reputable company where they can test everything, test what you're predisposed for, including like Alzheimer's and that, like decades in advance to figure out where you're at and how you can, hijack it. But you got to buy their vitamins, their stuff,
right?
So they keep you on the hook that way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a multimillionaire, right? That's probably the thing, and you're not a believer in God or the afterlife, then that's probably the thing you should invest in the most is yourself and your bodily needs.
This guy doesn't eat a meal before his last meal. He eats before noon.
Oh yeah, well, Gary Player, the golfer,
yeah,
that's his thing. He eats breakfast in the morning. He eats right before noon, and then he's done for the rest of the day. He keeps his feeding for between 4 hours between 8 a.m. and noon, and that's all he eats. And the rest of the day, he doesn't eat, just drinks water. It's insane. I mean, basically, life is meant to be lived and enjoyed.
Okay.
And it's
All right.
hard to do that when you can only eat nuts and berries and vegetables.
All right. So this
and lean meats.
This guy, the ultimate goal for both these guys, I would think, is don't die.
Yeah.
Right. That's the ultimate goal. And then I'd say that they claim it only makes you stronger fighting death this way.
Yeah, sure.
And
does that prevent car accidents though?
Well, no, but it should be about thriving, not just surviving. So, I mean, is biohacking the key to longer, healthier life? I don't know. Or is it just an expensive, high-tech guy, silicon bro,
let's put it this
midlife crisis?
If it's, well, that's the thing. If it's that expensive, then it ain't worth it. It also speaks to the fact that if these guys are going to go to that length to spend that kind of money to live this long, then all the conspiracy theorists out there who think that guys like Bill Gates and Hillary Clinton, all these people, like have like a secret way of like keeping their minds going after they die. You can just throw that out the window now, because you have two gentlemen here who have way more money than, well, maybe not Gates, but they're actually like putting it towards living longer, effective lives.
If biohacking truly works, this means our future is filled with 150-year-old backward hat wearing silicon tech bros who are going to be just ancient by the time everybody gets around, and everybody else will expire at 80.
Yeah.
And they'll be 150 years old.
Yeah. I mean, the human body's supposed to last over 100 years. It really is. It's just because of our environment, our food, everything we eat, stress, life. We don't live as long as we should.
When did it do that?
No, like in biblical times.
Oh, we don't even know. They counted wrong. It was misinterpreted. I'm only saying that because, like, in the 1800s, I had a cemetery kind of diagonally across from my house. I went in there to see, and most people were 32, 33 years old, 18, whatever.
Yeah, middle age was 18. They died of dysentery.
It was a strange thing. I don't know. I go, look, at what point does biohacking just become too much? I mean, these guys are disciplined, man. That's a lot of discipline and a lot of money.
Let's put it this way. Somebody asked,
it's like a horror movie plot. I'm going to stick my son's plasma in.
Yeah, like Men's Health is made a living off doing this type of stuff and promoting this type of stuff, right? And I once read an article from Men's Health that made me basically put everything in perspective, no matter what. And it says, do you want washboard abs? Guess what? It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And the point is, no ice cream. No alcohol, if you're into that. Nothing fun. No sugar.
No.
It is literally just lean meats and vegetables. Not even berry. You can't even eat fruit because fruit has sugar.
A lot of sugar.
Right.
Yeah,
so even natural sugars don't care. It's like, who wants to live like that? Yeah, I'm going to go out. Hey, what are you going to order? Seltzer water? That sucks.
What happens if your kid dies? Whose blood plasma do you go to next?
Probably grandkids. Or you get it from somebody with the same blood type. You knock on their door. Hey, I found you in a database. You're young enough. Could I, you want to donate some blood? I'll pay you like $1 million a year.
Way,
oh, sure.
This guy ages 8 months in a year. And I feel like sometimes I've aged a decade in a year.
Look at your metabolic age. If you get a chance, try to look at your metabolic age, and that'll tell you how old you really are. And I've had metabolic age ranging from 49 to 59. That's ridiculous. I'm only 45.
I can't with you.
What? Why?
I can't because I don't know.
Your metabolism kind of controls your health, dude.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. But so what are you doing about it?
I'm trying to exercise. I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to eat less. I'm trying to eat in certain windows. I'm trying to take supplements. I literally, you don't see me eating junk very often, do you? How often have you seen me eat junk?
You know where I did see you eat junk? And I locked it in. I did, and you had to ask. And I've had a few beers, so now I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I saw you. I locked in on you, and I watched you. I watched you go to town.
Was this at Craig's house?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Here's the cookies.
There's no cookies and everything around.
Yeah.
It's around.
Here's the cookies.
Yeah.
I said, leave me alone. I'm starving.
I don't think you. No, I don't think you do.
No, I try to pick my spots for the weekend.
Yes. I need to do that too. I know
it's hard, man. It's freaking hard.
It's not. It's not. It's mind over matter. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's not hard. Look, I've been going to the gym more. I did a spin class today. I've been enjoying these boot camp classes that I'm taking at the Y. I love it because I go at a certain point in the morning, mid-morning. because I got to drop my kid off at school, so I miss the other stuff. And I like to do a little work and then go, so that way I can ruminate about things that we can talk about on the podcast or whatever shit I got going on.
Mhm.
And I see people in their 70s. You know who's there? You know who's in my class often?
Who?
Coach Fosberg.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, St. John Fisher football coach.
Just retired.
Yeah, and I used to see him. He lived by me, and I used to run sometimes together. I would, he
Great dude.
just shuffle along, but he's in there doing it. So there are people who, I think there's one lady who high-fived me the other day. It was like Skeletor. I don't know. She got to be like.
That's the other thing
70s.
too. I mean, like I've heard stories where you'll pass all your lipids and everything, but you'll feel like garbage and you'll look terrible. Why? Because you're not having enough protein, or you're not getting your cholesterol up, which you need to. Cholesterol protects your brain from Alzheimer's, believe it or not.
Here's what people need to do, and I mean this in all seriousness. We are inundated with information about AI taking over everything now, right? AI is going to do this. AI is going to do that. Go on ChatGPT and put into the prompt, I'm this age, I'm this gender, I'm this weight. I'd like to be, where should I be ideally?
Yeah.
And how do I get there in a reasonable fashion? Or something to that effect. Put a prompt in, but like even
if you're sitting in front of your computer right now,
your prompt.
Write that stuff in.
Yeah, work your prompt a little bit.
Yeah,
try to really.
You have to lead the AI.
Yes, and then watch what happens. It'll spit back.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
You have?
Yes,
a fantastic thing, and I think it works for you. And then you've got the plan, and then it's up to you to not
like
be
the AI.
stuffing.
The AI other day said, Dan.
No, it didn't.
It didn't say David. It sounds like you're troubleshooting something.
No, it
from
didn't.
a blood test. Yes.
It did.
I can show you the picture.
Why now? Why are you so obsessed with this?
No, I just want to have good health. That's all.
So
I want to live life to the fullest.
Go do the biohacking
until Jesus comes back, because I plan on sticking around for that. I think it's going to be coming soon once they get these robots in place.
If you could extend your life by decades, and here's the problem, I don't know that you would know.
It's not about extending life. It's about extending a good life. You could live to be 90, but being like marbles for brains at like 75.
Right. But I mean, I watched, what was it? No. Who did All in the Family and the Jeffersons?
Norman Lear.
I it's not coming.
Wasn't Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Norman Lear lived to 99 and was functioning.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't out
Same thing with Betty White.
Skipping rope and doing anything. But if living like these guys, 100 plus supplements a day, $2 million, young person's blood plasma, all this stuff, strict diets, insane routines, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Well, I give you an example of a guy who's almost 90, maybe he older. And he eats like McDonald's cheeseburgers, 3 Cokes a day.
Who's that?
Warren Buffett.
Oh, yeah.
The Oracle of Omaha.
Yeah.
This dude, he has applied common sense to every stock he's ever purchased. Like, I read a book from him last night, like him and Charlie Munger. I read the Cliff Notes version, but the point is,
I figured.
Yeah, every night I read 2 blinks. So, and he,
Do you really?
Oh, I do. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
And I got to tell you, most books suck. Most books really are just fluff. A lot of common sense really doesn't apply.
All right.
But he was very practical in his investments. He didn't he goes, you don't have to look at all these statistics and stuff and analytics. And he gives you basically a very
we complicate everything.
Right. That's the point.
We complicate
But this dude,
everything.
he's living into his 90s. He's a multi-billionaire. And oh, by the way, he eats a McDonald's every day, which is like the worst place you could eat.
Yes. So, I mean, I think aging naturally may give you a more meaningful life when you're so obsessed with how you look and all this stuff. And it's a little weird. I think it makes you weird and unrelatable to people. I really do. I just think most people can relate to you. If you work out, eat sensibly, even restrict the windows a little bit, and I will tell you, have a positive overall outlook, be happier than morose and dark and all this stuff.
Woe
I
to me.
have a friend who can get very dark on things, can get very serious at times. Who?
Oh, do I know them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think they like Michigan, and sometimes you get a little dark.
You're talking about me?
Yes. Sometimes you get dark.
Yeah, I do get a little dark.
You get all down on
And I
yourself. You get down.
I should.
We'll finish
Jesus died
something
for
here.
my
And I'll go,
sins. I don't know what my problem is.
I don't either, because then all of a sudden I'll hear something like, I shouldn't have done that. And I'll be like, why? Whoa, whoa,
Why do
whoa,
I
whoa.
sound like Jordan Moran
Well,
every time I?
because you are. Because you are. And I go, why? Who cares? It's okay. There's no wrong. There's no wrong. Nothing's wrong.
You gotta admit though, I'm a lot happier than I was like the last time we worked together.
Yeah. I mean, I
A
guess.
lot better.
Yeah, I didn't think you were that miserable. I didn't. I thought sometimes you got.
I think people told me I was miserable.
Well, I didn't think you were miserable. I don't think. Did I tell you were miserable?
No. But I think that there was a point where, like, I think you and Tommy be like, "Oh man, this kid."
Well, because you would say some inane things. You had like these strong beliefs. You'd be like, I got to tell you. And, you still do it now. You go off like the sports stuff last night. That's why
Marty Herney.
Yeah,
Right.
I had to bring back Marty Herney. I get it. I totally get it. I understand. Believe me, I can relate.
It's what makes me me. Makes me entertaining.
Yes, and I wouldn't want. So don't change it. It would be my thing.
But you're right. Like
Embrace it.
I actually like you'll laugh at me.
I am. I like to laugh at you. You try too hard.
But I go to the mirror and I try to smile and give myself a high five 5 minutes a day, 5 different times. Seriously, it's Tony Robbins. But go ahead, laugh all you want.
Oh.
But it reminds you when you smile.
No one's gonna high five me but me.
But that's the point, though. You gotta high five yourself first.
You're the best.
Yes,
man. You're so great.
I mean, it's not Stuart Smalley type stuff, but
you know what? Good for you. If that helps you, I don't give a shit. You told me I was going to laugh at you, and I have to do it for the audience.
Right.
But if we were having a private conversation,
I'd still be laughing.
No, I think I would laugh. I would. You're right. But then I'd go, you know what? I do a lot of
It all has to start in the mirror, man.
I haven't done a lot of weird shit lately, but I have a lot of things that people would say is weird, and I just think that if that puts you in a happy state, then what's the problem?
Yeah, the idea is changing your state because every decision you make is not necessarily the information you have, but the state you're in when you make that decision.
Right.
For example, you know what I like? I like another beer. Why? Because you're feeling good. Is it good for you? No. Is it the right thing to do? No. But man, my state of mind is amazing. I want to have another Guinness, and
Yes,
I'm gonna because I'm with friends.
I did.
At my favorite bar.
Well, it was only me
Right.
and Peter, but
Yeah, I'm describing you. Now.
that's twice this
Right.
and within 5 days.
Yeah, your state help you make that decision.
Yes, but
So you got to be able to change your state at any moment to a point where, okay, you know what? I am happy.
Yes.
I am in a good place. I am
wound
grateful.
up about all kinds of
I do that for the podcast.
No, you don't.
Okay.
No, you don't. That is your life every day.
But
Believe
you know
me,
what, though?
if we could have
At the
cameras
end of the
around your
day-
house, we would totally see exactly what that is. At the end of the day, yes.
But at the end of the day, like I've come to the conclusion in my life that looking back, there have been patterns since I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
That I can remember. Like, okay, this is just my brain chemistry. This is how I have to work around those things.
Yeah.
And you have to practice that. You have to work at it. It's not going to be something that you just automatically just read a book and bang, you're good, or take a pill, bang, you're good. You do not want to be hooked on medication the rest of your life. I don't care what it is.
How about supplements? Guy does 100 plus.
Well, supplements are good for you.
I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
Know. Yes, I think there are patterns, and when you notice them, I think what you have to do is go, that no longer serves me.
Right.
And
like I know old people right now who are like, I could
bullshit.
I know old people are like, I could check out right now. I'm like, you serious? Like my grandmother, I talked to the other day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Grandma. 97 years old.
Yeah.
I go, you're good, man. You're gonna be at 100 soon. I don't want to live that long. I'm like, it's only 3 years from now. They're talking about the robots coming in 10, maybe 5. You hear Elon the other day? I'm like, yeah, I don't want to live that long. I'm like, okay, that's her state of life. She doesn't want to live that long. It's not about aging. It's about aging well.
Yes, that's
That's
what I'm
the
saying.
whole
But you
point.
got to keep the. I think it has more to do with your head.
Yeah, and I
than
think
it
this
does with the other
podcast
stuff.
has really helped people,
Has it?
do that.
Well, I'm not sure.
Don't be like me.
We got somebody who can help though. Foody. It's been a while. Foody and the brackets, and I know a lot of people are using AI this year. Oh, what? Big mistakes.
Oh, Foody says the human element.
Somebody else says you got to turn it from the inside out as to when you do your brackets. We'll see what Foody says right after this. There we go. Hello and welcome, America.
I'm gonna miss Greg Gumbel.
Yeah. Greg did it for a number of years. Is Nance still doing it or no? Was last year his last year?
I think last year was his last year.
Was it? Foody? Wait.
Yeah, because he was going straight to the Masters every time.
Yeah.
And that had been enough. It's like most people would kill for that job.
We're live from Atlanta, where number 7 Marquette is taking on number 15 Bryant in the one we didn't see coming.
Bryant, based out of Massachusetts.
Food you like to bring in only because it's been forever since we've actually seen you or talked to you.
How you've grown.
Terrible. But you hold up. Like you didn't even partake in St. Patrick's Day last year because the tournament kicked off. Yes, it was last year or the year before.
It had to be the year before. Last year, I definitely partook.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But you're going to be, what do you do? Lock yourself in a basement somewhere?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it at Brad's?
No, at my buddy Tom's.
Okay.
How many TVs you got?
5 TVs.
Because the games don't overlap like they used to.
They get going. So you got like a 12:15, 12:45,
Yeah.
1:42.
It's like staggered start.
Yeah.
You know,
but they're not like it used to be where like all the games were on at once and you only had one channel.
Right.
You know, where
Right.
so everybody would go to like a bar and watch every single game. Like I remember one time when I was working in radio at Wham, like the entire sales staff was at JG Crummer's.
Yeah, well, you used to go, and I remember broadcasting afternoon shows live from like a distillery or something, and guys, when the TV cameras would show up, putting paper bags over their heads so their bosses wouldn't know it was them.
Right.
Like, so they wouldn't be in the background of a shot, and which I always thought was funny. Now you can watch it anywhere you are.
Yeah.
And I still think that it may actually be worse than the guys who snuck out to go to the bar, because productivity's got to just drop. Everybody's half-assing it while watching the games. And they are a lot of fun. I mean, they're, you know, the Cinderella stuff. I love this tournament. I'm a huge fan of it because you just never know when a lower seed is just going to upset somebody, and you know, it's just that day. And a lot of times those kids have been together longer on those smaller Division I schools.
Nowadays, yeah. I mean,
right, because you get a lot of one and done, right?
Yeah.
The one and done,
or the portal transfer.
The portal's a big thing.
Every night is senior night for the next 4 weeks
Yeah, in a way,
for even the freshmen.
yes, it could be. It could be one and done. You never know.
That's why college basketball has lost like its popularity over the years. I remember, I mean, you guys are both Gen Xers, but I remember it too when Leitner would make the cover of SI. I mean, Duke had a following and you knew the players year after year after year after year. Those days are over. When Weber basically left Michigan after his sophomore year, that kind of opened the floodgates for guys like Marbury and others, to Tim Duncan's, to just take off. And now you got the one and done concept, and you don't know who anybody is, and then these kids transfer all the time too.
Right. Do we expect to see like a repeat champion UConn?
I would think not.
No,
UConn's not that good this year, but I think they're going to win some games.
They're an 8th seed, right, out of the West. They're an 8th seed out of the West, which I always think those 8-9 games to me are so hard to pick.
Oh yeah,
I would say 8-9, even the 7-9s to me are sometimes tough to pick. Or
7-10. Yeah, I got some
7-10s. Thank you. 7-10s. Thank you.
I do have some numbers for people if they're degenerate gamblers.
Well,
but
yes,
we can get into that.
Yeah, sure.
Whenever you want. But you know, generally, you know, if you're a betting person, you know, those 8-9 games, you just take the points and hope.
Take the points and hope, right? Because they are so close, right?
You know, it's usually 1, 1.5, 2.
It almost seems unfair to have an Auburn go up against an Alabama St. Francis. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And not that we haven't seen sometimes an upset, right? There's been
twice.
UMBC beat Virginia, which was the first time a 16 beat a 1. And the following year, Tony Bennett had his team back in the championship game and won it.
Yeah, but
which totally made everybody forget about it. But then it happened again.
It did happen again.
But I often think the top 16 teams in the country going into the tournament have the greatest chance of winning the national championship.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and they're usually the ones. We don't see many of these Alabama St. Francis get beyond the Sweet 16 if they even get that far. They might get to the 32. They, you know, might be a close one.
I mean, last year we had NC State. They were a great story, right?
Yes.
They played their way in.
He's fired their head coach.
Played their way in through the ACC tournament, made it all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I mean, Syracuse did something similar in 2016.
Yeah, they did. Yep.
Yeah.
They were in the playing game.
Well, same thing with UConn when they won the Big East tournament. They had to literally win the tournament to get into the tournament. They end up like never losing again, and they end up going and winning the championship. They gave Kevin Ollie this huge extension. He sucked. They end up firing him and bringing in Hurley,
Hurley.
and he ends up like
Hurley got him
UConn.
back.
People forget UConn may be this generation, not Duke. UConn may be this generation's greatest college basketball program.
It's one we never think of.
Right, we don't. It's ridiculous.
Because you do think college basketball, I automatically think of Duke
Think of
and
Duke, North Carolina, Kansas. They used to
Yeah,
think Indiana, and
Jayhawks.
UCLA,
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Always.
Oh, they're always
Michigan
fun to
State.
watch.
Alabama's coming on the scene now. I mean, they really
Nate
are.
Oates.
Yeah, with
That's
Nate
that's
Oates.
become Buffalo's adopted team because
Yes,
he
it
used to
is.
coach UB.
Yes, it is.
Hey, we're with you now.
But somebody said, Foody, I read this. Brackets, flip it on its head. Fill out the bracket from the inside out. This is according to the University of Illinois computer science professor Sheldon Jacobson.
He's onto something.
Hey, Sheldon.
Is that the dude from
Yes. Yes, it is. From Nerds Are Us or whatever the show was.
Yeah.
Mystery
Big Bang
Science
Theory.
Theater. Oh, Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Young Sheldon.
He used AI and past tournament results to determine the best round to start with. And it told AI says the Elite Eight or the Final Four is where you should start filling out your brackets, which seems insane to me. Like,
See, that's a good
I
use
need
of
to
AI
go this
right
way.
there. I think that's a good use of AI.
to say where to start. Yeah. Not
Like-
who's going to win.
Right.
Yeah, because I think your bracket's going to blow up.
It probably would, but like most large language models
Yeah.
are outdated. They're, data through 2023.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So you don't have this year's data in there. You don't have last year's data. You just are going off what?
Right. So saying where should I start it based on historical preferences,
Yeah.
the last 2 years really
Yeah,
don't
and you
play
could,
into that overall.
go
Yeah.
percentages.
That's a
from
good
the
point.
Elite Eight out. Like that's where you're getting all your points if you're in a bracket pool, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Pretty much. That is it. So who do you see? Who do you have? Did you fill out a bracket? Or if you were to just look, let's just say overall, who do you say cuts down the nets on April 7th in San Antonio?
I think somebody from the SEC will cut down the net.
Okay, so that excludes Duke.
How many SEC
Duke's out.
teams are in? There's like
It's a lot.
6.
14 SEC teams. Or no, was it? No, it can't
They
be that
have
many.
18 teams.
Was it 18 teams?
I think they have 18.
18 in the tournament?
No.
No, I think they have 14 in the tournament.
Yeah, okay, 14.
Did that many make it?
I didn't think more. I thought it was less than that. I don't know.
So it's interesting. This year, the SEC has not only been the best conference, but they've been dominant outside of conference play. So going up against, the ACC or the Big 12, they've been dominating. The only conference that gave them problems was the Big 10. They're slightly above 500 against the Big 10. So if you're looking at a bracket and you see one of those matchups come up, Michigan State against an SEC, maybe you lean Michigan State in that one.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about Florida being the best team in this tournament.
I heard a guy take Florida for the tournament the other day.
Yeah. Agree? Disagree?
I can't disagree with
Can't
that.
disagree.
I mean, they just rolled through the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
Offensively, they're probably one of the best in the country. Defensively, they're top 10.
God, it would be so great to
according
see
my
like
stats.
a Robert Morris beat Alabama,
Roll Tide.
right? Or a Mount St. Mary's beat Duke.
You say that, but then it kills the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, but it gives me something to root for.
It does until it makes the tournament no longer fun.
I mean,
There's times where upsets like don't get so far. Check out the Times of Wayne County on Saturday.
Okay, Debbie Downer. Why you got to?
I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm being
all over
factual.
it.
No, upsets are great in the moment. Then the next game, it's like, oh crap, this is what we got.
Yeah, I could see Troy beating Kentucky
You can.
Based on
Sure.
What, Bill?
based on the fact.
Based on what?
Wait, hang on. Based on Kentucky
I could see the sun coming up tomorrow.
taking him a little too light here.
I could see
I
Dan with his
think
problems that he
that-
could be
Well, no,
bitches about on the show.
That I can see. I can see that a mile away.
You probably can't do the talk.
I would like to do brackets on Dan's problems.
I don't have problems. I don't have that many problems. My problems are nothing. They're insignificant.
Supplement brackets with Dan Brillo.
I gotta tell you, like, can't two dudes just talk about stuff? Oh, this is an issue with Daddy's life. Yeah, if my issues are
Who?
supplements that or
Who
cholesterol.
talks about
What?
I don't talk about issues in your
You
life.
asked me how I was doing one day, and I told you about my cholesterol. All of a sudden, now it became a thing.
I didn't. What do you mean a thing?
Sorry, go on. I'm sorry, Foody. Go ahead.
Fine.
Why is Troy going to beat Kentucky, Bill?
Because I just for some reason I could see Kentucky looking past. Can't you in a way?
Yeah, you
Almost
can see
looking
that.
past. And who's coaching Kentucky this year?
Mark Pope.
They're better. I mean,
Yeah, they sent
certainly
they
had
sent
a-
Calipari packing.
Yes.
They brought in Mark Pope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it's not probably going to happen, but
Well, you
I mean, how
could.
much fun is
well-
it for those small schools too, like an SIU
Yeah.
Edwardsville?
yeah.
Where,
There's gotta be a
where are
blast.
they going?
Here's the stat that
They have a nun that everybody loves. like
that
Loyola Chicago.
why Troy is not going to win.
Yes.
Last 27 games with 3 seeds in the first round, they're 25-2 straight up.
Wow. Okay.
Upsets don't
Yeah,
happen
and they don't.
that much.
No. It is rare. And what you would probably see more likely is a 9 beating a 6.
Well, the 9 would play the 8. and
Yeah.
Oh,
the 8
there you
would
go.
play the
9
1.
beating the 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
I mean,
they do.
eventually it can
I
happen.
don't know what happens.
Yeah,
I guess.
like
You go
in the
through
Final Four.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Or you don't see 6 teams beating 1s often, right?
Twice.
You do see it could you see a 4 or 12 beating a 4?
12 plays the 5.
Yes. Sorry.
Well, I have a 12. A 12 plays a 5. Yes. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I shouldn't have gone for that beer.
Look at the bracket, Bill.
How about the
Look at
13?
the
Look at the bracket. But speaking of 12 5s,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
I got a little tidbit on them somewhere.
That's usually like where you could find some good upsets.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this.
Right. Here's a little fun fact.
Fun fact.
Since 2005, the 5 seed has only been an underdog twice in the history of the tournament. Happened in 2006 when Syracuse was a 5 and Texas A&M was a 12. Texas A&M ended up winning.
Yeah, you know what happened after that game? Billy Gillespie got a job coaching Kentucky, and he coached them into the ground.
Oh.
Yeah, that win. Like I think they went to the Final Four that
They
year.
might have.
Yeah,
No. And then in 2017, Mid Tennessee State was favored over Minnesota. Mid Tennessee State actually won that game.
Okay.
So this year we have this anomaly again. Colorado State is the 12 seed.
Yeah. Taking on Memphis.
They were opening line favored by 1.5 or 2.5.
Really?
Yeah.
keep your eyes on the Rams.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's their name.
Now,
Dion might show up too.
Well,
No,
it could,
that's Colorado.
you could really like if you're Memphis, I'm a little insulted by this.
you
I mean, I'd be
would.
using as a coach, you'd be trying to coach these guys up and use that as motivation.
I would think, but was 2006 the year McNamara got hurt?
Yes. 2000 when they lost to the Catamounts of Vermont.
No, that was 04.
Was that 04? Okay.
They lost to Texas A&M in 06.
That's right. Okay, we just said that.
Yeah.
I think Jerry McNamara was
like
like
tweaked the hamstring.
Yeah. because he was the big hero in the Big East tournament. Remember?
And then Boeheim was like, we wouldn't win 10
Without
games.
Jerry McNamara, this team wouldn't have won 10 effing games this year. They let off Sports Center with Boeheim going off.
I think I could see Baylor beating Mississippi State for sure.
Well, I mean,
And that's a 9. That's an 8-9.
they won the national championship a few years ago.
Yes.
Baylor?
Baylor.
Yeah, they beat Purdue, right? No.
I don't think Baylor won.
Baylor won the national championship 3 years ago.
Purdue always bailed out early, except for last year.
I remember Baylor beating somebody in the national championship a few years ago. Come on, Foody, you got to know this stuff. No, because nobody picked them to win it, and they end up winning everything. Oh, wow. Yeah, you know what? We should have known better. Yeah, but nobody guessed it.
Who plays tonight, Foody? Is it North Carolina,
Yeah,
San Diego State?
2021.
No, they played last night.
They played last night.
Yeah.
2021. They beat Gonzaga. That's right.
So who do
Because
we have
Gonzaga
tonight?
can't win it all.
Right.
Xavier,
They have
Texas?
Xavier, Texas.
Okay.
And then American
And
Mount St. Mary.
Yeah. All right.
They from Pennsylvania.
Yes. I think this whole tournament is so much fun.
It is. I love it.
Where are you watching it?
Where are most of the games? I'll watch it here, home.
Montgomery.
It's hard to watch there because you can't.
because basketball's not the main attraction in
You
that
can't-
place.
No, you can't really hear.
I don't even think the
stuff, so
alcohol is the main attraction in that place. I think it's Damien.
maybe, could be. But the I would, yeah, Thirsties is a fun place to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That would be-
Connery's is a fun place to watch. I've watched. games
Tilsy's
there.
Cash.
By the way,
No.
Okay.
I know this is a national podcast, but
Yes.
It is.
your friend misses you at Thirsties. He told me.
Who's that?
Rick.
Oh, Rick Bilger.
Hey, Rick.
Ricky.
He listens all the time.
I haven't. Yeah, I got to go in there. I almost went in last Friday, and then I didn't. I went over to McConaughey's and sat with Peter, and that was a mistake. Yeah, but that's a fun place. But where are the games? They're on. They're everywhere, aren't they?
CBS.
Yeah, we know that. But is it
TNT,
TNT,
True?
True
TBS.
TV to TBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all.
Now,
okay.
is the national championship game on CBS this year, or is it on one of
I
the
think
cable
it's
networks?
on one of the cables.
See, that's the thing about college
I don't like
basketball. Yeah, but they sold their soul. The NCAA sold their soul to Turner, and that's what they got. And so
I think it's
it,
CBS.
like traditionally, if you tune in at CBS on the Monday night of the championship game, you might end up with like NCIS or CSI or FBI, or one of those acronym pro. Yeah.
Oh, your favorite program?
My
that you
wife's
fall asleep to?
programming, yeah.
No, you fall asleep to those.
Like,
don't
where's
you?
the national championship game? Dan, they moved them to TBS this year.
All
Pay
right.
attention.
Foodie.
Yeah,
So you're on DraftKings,
I am. I'm
and
on DraftKings,
yeah.
FanDuel.
Okay, you're on both. Or you're on more than that?
Yeah.
And how much are you putting in total, you think, for these games?
We do standard bet 20 a game.
20 a game.
Nothing, big. Just
Yeah, 20 a
Sim-
game on those
Each game.
platforms
no We have
against
a-
each other.
separate platform.
Separate platform for you, just you and your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who came out the winner last year?
Well, I think the last 2 years we've been up slightly, like $20 bets. I think 60 to $100 up.
Okay.
They're not great, but when you're betting 63 games,
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. I mean,
Yeah, by the end of it, you should be able to buy like a percentage of the bills if you get them all right.
I want to fill out brackets and see you. I always love to see, like, I fall apart within the first day, but I would
everybody does.
love to see Yale move on.
Yale.
Yeah, taking on Texas A&M, right?
Mm.
Yeah. The
We might
13
have
versus a 4.
We do have a.
Texas A&M is going to blow them. I mean, it's not even.
We have 2 Yale bets in here.
You do?
Yep.
What
Yep.
What are the Yale bets? Who's put them in?
Well, just based on there's a lot of trends in the tournament, that we need to be familiar with as bettors. Now, when you're going with trends, they can end at any time,
Right.
right? Like I said, the 3 seeds, 25-2, last 27 games,
Right.
they could go 0-4 this year, and you're just screwed, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but it's based on data in the past. So we like to use our brains and make some mathematical picks.
Gotcha.
So one of these for Yale, underdogs typically between 6.5 and 10 points do pretty well in the tournament.
Okay,
so that's
so-
like your range.
So you're looking for-
looking at those dogs that are
Yeah.
plus 6
Oh,
and
okay.
a half
All
Yeah.
right. All right. I
to
can write
plus
that down.
10.
Danny's
He's
gonna
He's
win.
well,
He's gonna win, and it's all gonna be blown on supplements.
or he's going to lose and he'll come after me.
I'll tell you what, if I win, I'll take everybody out for dinner.
I
Oh,
think
boy.
Danny will win. I think Danny will smartly sit down and look at this and take your advice and do it. I
Well,
really do.
I
I
gotta
hate to say that because it pains me.
Why does it pain you?
I'm just-
You have me on the show for a reason. I think I'm the most interesting guy on your show.
Do
to be
you
honest
really?
with you. I
You
think,
think so?
easily the top 5.
Okay.
I got one tip for you guys. I got one tip. Maybe you've heard this. There's a guy named Connor Allen. Connor Allen's an NFL writer. He's on Twitter, and he does the tournament every year. And he says 95% of national champions have ranked either 21st or better in adjusted offensive efficiency, and 37th or better in defensive adjusted efficiency. Now, okay, here's the thing. Forget all that. Here's the 11 teams that can win the national championship with that.
Thanks. Why'd you say it if I need to forget it? I couldn't even remember it.
Forget about all that.
In other words, forget all about. Here's the teams that you can bet on to win the national championship. I'm gonna
Yes,
give them
I
all.
got
to
them
you.
all circled.
All right, let's
Duke,
see.
Florida, Houston,
Yeah.
Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, Texas Tech, Gonzaga, Iowa State, Wisconsin, and Arizona.
No UConn in there.
Right. Here's another thing, though. No team since 97, Arizona has won west of the Central Time Zone.
That's a fun fact.
No
that I
team
actually had
has
written
won
down.
west of the Central Time Zone.
Yes.
So no West Coast.
Yeah,
teams.
the last time was 97.
Should we
Arizona
say
beat
just West
Kentucky.
Coast teams. Well, no, Central
No.
Time Zone is
Anything
Includes
Chicago,
Texas. Includes
West-
Texas, too.
West
West
of
of Texas.
West of Texas. But I mean, like, so those are your 10 teams that you really, because like Arizona's in there, but nobody's won it since 97 west of Texas. So look at what you got
Yeah,
here.
we haven't seen that.
And I mean, you got 10 teams. Gonzaga is another team you could eliminate. So now you're down to about 9 teams that could win the
9
national championship. So if you're doing your brackets backwards, those are your 9 teams you want to start with.
Okay.
There you go.
Look at that.
But Gonzaga is up there, right?
Yes,
So
they are.
if you're filling out your brackets and they're the 8 seed, could they potentially beat a 1?
They could.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Gonzaga's always like that perennial mascot.
You can't
Right.
tell.
They're a perennial. Everybody loves Gonzaga. Nobody hates Gonzaga. They're out of football school.
Well,
They show up every year. Mark Few's a hell of a coach. He gets all these kids to show up to Eastern Washington to play basketball, and they go to the tournament every year, and they do relatively well.
Foody, what is a regular season? 34
30.
games? 33 games?
33, 34, and then you
So
got the
for
conference.
all right,
So,
and then you got the
I mean, most teams on here,
There's
they've played 34 games. with
there's
the
a chance
conference
you've got more Cooper Flag type injuries that guys
Yeah,
are talking
like
about.
somebody-
banged up.
I
What I'm
heard-
saying is,
I
like, let's say a 3 seed and they got a guy who, hey, we're not saying anything, and he's going to play, and it just doesn't go well, and they get beat by.
Well, they have to kind of hide those injuries because the committee takes that into effect
When they
in
do the-
seeding.
Yeah, in the seating.
Right?
Committees.
Real quick on that note, because I know Dan has thoughts on this, and we haven't gotten to
I got
it.
a lot of thoughts.
Dan, I know.
A lot of thoughts.
They're clouding you up.
Some of them are true.
They're the UNC and the athletic director being the chair of the selection committee and recusing himself because you have to for your team, yet at the same time making $67,000 more for himself. That's a wild thing to me. If the team makes the tournament and then it's at a deep run, I don't know what a deep run is. Is that Sweet 16 deep? Is
Probably.
it eight? That's what I
Sweet
thought.
16 is basically like winning,
That's-
not like
yeah.
winning a national championship, but that's the gravy. That's the gravy boat. Is
You
the
made
Sweet
it to the
16.
second weekend.
Yeah, you if you get to hang a banner that says Sweet 16,
It's another 100,000 for this guy.
Nice.
So the question becomes: could there be money influence? Like, hey, buddy, I'll slide you. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to
We're
say.
getting in
And
conspiracy
other
land.
and other people have said there have been backroom deals. They know it.
it's worse. Worse than the Grammys.
in past years.
Yes.
But look, I go UNC getting into the 68th. Do we care? I mean, it's a blue blood team
The only team that cares is the team that
doesn't get in.
Can I tell
No.
you this? It's a television show.
Well,
The NCAA tournament is a television
Yes.
show, and NC is a brand. UNC is a brand. Okay, people want to see North Carolina. You know what? If they could, they would put in Syracuse and Indiana and UCLA and Kansas. Who, by the way, all the blue blood schools. Not that Syracuse is a blue blood.
no, I know what you
They're
mean,
kind
though.
of they're kind of purplish. But the point is, like, they would put all the brand names in the tournament if they could get away with it. They would do it.
Yeah, there were a couple of years where Syracuse was bubble.
Oh my gosh! Like in 2014 when they went to the Final Four, they shouldn't even, or 2015, they shouldn't even been there.
I'll tell you this.
Right?
They were terrible. I remember what's his name? Like Trevor Cooney misses a 3 in the ACC tournament. Next thing you know, we see Syracuse. Like, wait, well, what? They're in?
Yeah.
They got in?
Yeah.
And then they went to the Final Four.
Yep. That was an amazing run. And how fun was that?
On Easter Sunday, when they came
How
back.
fun.
Yeah, Virginia.
And Kevin Harley goes, "We're back from the 10
Yes.
on Easter Sunday."
I could see in the West Arkansas beating Kansas. A 10 beating a 7.
Here we go.
And I'm putting that on Calipari.
Arkansas.
Calipari.
Right? Isn't he in there, Arkansas?
Yeah.
Calipari's one of those tragic figures. Yes, he is.
No, I know,
Yes,
but
he
I mean,
is.
he's a good coach.
He's a good recruiter.
Okay. I mean,
Food, you want to back me up on that one?
He is a good recruiter.
He's a hell of a recruiter.
He's
But for some reason, when it comes to X's and O's, oh crap!
yeah, but I could see it happening.
plus he's just a big douche.
I want to see St. John's.
A lot of people do. A lot of people
I would like to
in your
see them do
generation
well.
and
Yes.
my generation, well, mostly your generation, want to see St. John's because of Lou Carnesecca, the history at the Garden, what they were able to do in the 80s against Georgetown.
It's a big deal.
In the Big E with Chris Mullen and those guys when they were known as the Red Men, not the Red Storm. And also all these Syracuse fans are rooting for St. John's.
Well, they're a 2 seed in the West, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
the problem.
Plus, we got Patino back.
Yeah, that's the one reason why.
That's
I want to see.
But the problem is that you can't bet on them in New York State.
No, you can't. But I can pick them in my bracket.
You can.
And I could do.
You could absolutely do that.
I could do the Foody festive bet.
But now you got to like fill out 2 brackets.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just saying.
Look at how.
I'm going to fill out 4.
You can't.
I always fill out 1. I'm going to fill out 4 this year.
All right. All right. I like
bracket of integrity.
Boy, I could see St. John's.
I'll designate a bracket of integrity, but I'm going to fill out 4.
We could have St. John's, Arkansas.
We could.
Yeah, that would be.
Are you going from the inside out?
No, I'm going from the outside in on that one. But I should do the outside in.
By the way, doesn't Louisville have a home game possibly coming up in the tournament with where they're playing?
Possibly. Wow.
They usually have the locations on here.
Yeah, they do.
Stupid bracket sheet.
Because I thought I heard that, because I haven't watched this closely, but that Louisville, if they beat Creighton and Alabama and Auburn, that in the Sweet 16 they could be in the they could basically be playing like an hour from home.
Yeah, they can't play at the Yum Center.
No,
they can't.
Yeah,
right. But
they could play across the river.
Yeah, like when Syracuse won the national championship, they played in Albany in the Sweet 16.
Right. And then I think, did anybody play in Buffalo? No, I don't think so.
Syracuse never played in Buffalo.
No, not Syracuse. I was trying to think of other teams in the area that may have been.
Bobby Knight coached his last game as an Indiana Hoosier in Buffalo and lost. Just so you know.
Okay.
Sorry. What?
These are the things I tease them all the time. If we could clear some of that out of your brain, the brain power you would have, you can remember some of that.
Oh, believe me, I'm working on it.
All right, we'll take
That's what the supplements are for.
We'll take a moment. Any other tips, Foody?
I got lots of tips. If we want to do some tips,
we do.
Well, Danny's very interested in it.
We'll do the tips. And I do want to talk a little bit about these people who were stuck in space. They went for a week. You talk about what was the Gilligan's Island? It was a 3-hour tour. Right? And this one in space. We'll get to all that right after this.
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on.
So Danny does before he leaves the house.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Well, the Foodie did say something during the break. that
What
was
did
pretty
he
interesting.
say? What did he say?
What'd you say, Foodie?
What did he say?
What'd you say, Foodie?
Foodie doesn't even remember what he said. Do you?
He said he needs to take some of my advice.
And
Learn when I'm happy enough.
happy enough. Well, that's like I can't. You know what? I'm happy enough. I'm happy enough.
No, content.
You can always have
content.
Yes,
He's content. That's what
I got
happy
it.
enough
Yes.
means.
Okay.
He just used 2 words instead of 1. We got to pick on the guy for.
I'm not. I'm picking on you.
Yeah, I
'cause
know.
You said happy enough.
I have the balls to put myself out there.
I play that song because before we get back into the tips, and Foody's got some great tips on doing all the betting for this big enormous tournament. How much money is bet? Do we know?
Billions.
Yeah,
Right?
billions with an S. Yeah. I have been sort of really caught up in this space story, which it just seems so odd to me that these 2 NASA astronauts go out there again on Boeing. Not a great track record.
Boeing doors didn't fly open.
They were supposed to do an 8-day test flight, and it turned into a 286-day odyssey.
Thanks, Biden.
They're back on Earth, and I guess you get paid for the unexpected work shifts because you're still there. So
you're working 24/7.
Well, I guess.
And it's a leap year. It was a leap year. So you get hazard pay.
So they're supposed to get some extra cash for their trouble.
Hope it's not like jury duty cash. Like
Well,
$5 a day.
You know what? So a former astronaut, Caddy Coleman, said that NASA space travel allowance in 2010, and we're 15 years later, was just $4 per day.
Doge
You weren't far off.
Doge is going to have to fix that.
Not exactly hazard pay for being stranded out in space for 286 days, in my opinion. But if they get today's higher per diem, they can end up with $51,000 each. But if it's based on the older rates, they would each get $1,148, which would be terrible. Terrible. And you know what? I wonder if these people even care.
Terrible.
Like they're scientists, and I don't know.
What's in your wallet?
So
$1,000?
Have you been following this all along?
I've been paying attention, sort of. I find so much of the news just dark these days. You know, like everything is. This one got shot. This one, I can't. I go.
Yeah, Tesla got lit up.
So they went up for 8 days.
Yeah, that was the thing, to test the thing, and then 286.
So where do they get the food from?
That's a great question.
Or the water that they have to do.
I don't know.
What are they doing with the waste?
I think
Is that space waste now?
Right.
I don't know. If someday all of a sudden a turd just lands on your roof, comes screaming through your chimney.
Brown ice.
I looked. They returned to the SpaceX capsule, so that means
They
Elon
got
Musk.
transferred?
Elon Musk.
Did they have to
went-
spacewalk? How does this all work?
This is the whole thing. I thought they got to the International Space Station,
Oh, is that where they were?
and we couldn't get out of there necessarily. They were supposed to be on this 8-day trip, and then they wound up 286 days there. And I don't know, but getting them back was supposedly,
Like, is this like Interstellar,
yeah,
where the guy wakes Jennifer Lawrence up early?
yes, yes,
He's all
yes.
you
He's
haven't
all
seen
jacked
it?
No, I
up.
haven't seen it. No. Was it good?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Was it the George Clooney movie or?
No.
Oh.
Is it Interstellar? Is that the right movie?
No, Interstellar was inside your body. I thought,
Oh,
wasn't it? Where they shrunk somebody down and they went in your body.
maybe.
I thought that was the thing.
No.
They were trying
Anyway, Danny, this movie they took off and they got frozen, put to sleep to make the journey.
Like Austin Powers.
Yeah, and for some reason the dude woke up. He was in what movie was he in?
I don't know.
Star Wars.
Close to Star Wars. He was Star Lord
Okay.
from that Marvel movie.
Okay.
I don't remember his name. Anyway, it's good segment.
Okay.
Because 287 extra days in space.
Same outfits.
Same out. No weekends, no fresh air.
Right.
Yeah,
No
how they
escape.
wash their
Floats, no
clothes.
boats, no motor cars.
You know,
How do you not go nuts?
Yeah.
like you got clean underwear for 10 days because you always pack a couple extra.
Hi. Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
it was a guy and a girl.
So it,
Yeah,
man and a
right.
woman.
Right.
astronauts make between man and a woman. I know, but you need a little gravity to make the friction go. I think an astronaut's pay is somewhere between 125 and 163,000 a year.
It's not enough.
You know what? I mean, Josh Allen just got these guys are going to space. Can we just?
I mean,
you
could blow
Yeah.
up.
Can we even the playing
got a
field
house.
just a little bit?
I got a house. I got a space shuttle. I'm good. Who needs $5 more million?
You could buy
I mean,
the old space shuttle.
This is the worst
Put it in his
overtime
backyard.
in history of mankind. It's the worst overtime shift ever.
Yeah.
God, high risk, unpredictable. I don't know. It's like $4 a day. Yeah, it makes like Nike in the third world look like a generous employer.
It's unreal. I can't. I mean, the psychological implications alone, forget the physical implications, forget everything else. And yet they still had this disposition when they interviewed them of joy, maybe just because they knew they were getting rescued, because I would be the same way. But I mean, they looked like they were like just in a great mood.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Probably to come back.
yeah.
Yeah. And then the one guy said it's like gravity and pulling on your organs and everything's got to be like, you got to feel weird.
Yeah.
You know,
They
you were
like passing water back
you're
and they
light.
were dropping it.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I wonder what happens if muscles atrophy a little bit, or you got to have some weight. Look.
But you're only supposed to be up there for 8 days.
I know, but
It's like about don't pack too much.
better than flying Spirit Airlines, from what I understand. Not sure. That's what I see.
Yeah.
All right.
They went up there, bags were flying free. They come
yes.
back, they're not.
Okay, all right. If your job unexpectedly kept you overtime for 9 months, what would the bare minimum pay be for you, do you think?
Well,
Unexpectedly kept you
they
9
would
extra
give
months.
me nothing extra.
Nothing extra for 9 extra months? Danny?
No, I would just.
If your boss locked you in a call center, you got to be recruiting.
Oh gosh. Eventually, I'd find people.
Yes.
Help! Get me out of here! Do you realize it's like 11 o'clock at night? Yeah, I know. Listen, just hear me out of this.
Well, that's 9 a.m. somewhere.
It is. All right, Foody, what tips we got
All right.
for the NCAA
Yep.
tournament?
Pens
Men's
ready.
Tournament. All
Get
right, I
your
got my pens.
pens.
I got my pen. Ready.
All right, 2 seats, right? 17 points or higher. Since 2005, they're 14 and 24. So we got 3 teams that fit this bill. Maybe you take them, maybe you don't. Robert Morris, Wolford, and Omaha.
Okay. So 17 points or higher.
Yeah, so if a team is a 15 seed
Yeah.
and they're getting more than 17 points,
Gotcha.
you want
in
to
the
take
spread.
the points.
You want to take the points.
15 seed and getting what?
17.
Okay,
17 or more.
take the points. Okay,
Take the
It's
points.
about a 64%
that makes sense.
hit.
Danny.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Might be very, very, very wealthy by the time this
Yeah.
is all done.
Right.
I want to have FanDuel pick 11 teams to win the championship. So
Yeah. you
I'm
did.
set for life.
Okay.
All right. The Mountain West is a terrible team conference in the tournament.
Don't tell Josh Allen that, but
Mountain West seeds 8 or higher, since 2003 are 5 and 36 straight up, and only 7, 32, and 2 against the spread.
Wow.
So we got 4 of those. One happened last night. We saw what happened. UNC totally killed San Diego State.
Yeah.
We got UCLA, Memphis getting points against Colorado State, and Marquette. They fit that bill to bet 4.
So bet 4.
Yeah, UCLA, Memphis, Marquette fit that. They're playing Mountain West 8 or higher.
UCLA, Memphis,
Marquette.
Marquette.
So bet those teams.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel richer already.
All right.
All right, we talked about the 3 seeds. They're 17 and 10 in the last
Yeah.
27 games. Texas Tech, Iowa State, Kentucky, Wisconsin.
What about them?
All right, here's a weird one.
Okay.
Danny, you got something?
They said Texas Tech,
Iowa State,
Iowa State.
Kentucky over Troy,
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Okay. I like when I could just put like states down. That's great. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. High elevation teams that play in high elevation
Right.
tend to run out of gas for some reason in the tournament.
Interesting because we're more at sea level.
Yeah.
Gravity.
So if you were
Talk to
just
astronauts.
in a space shuttle
Yes.
Right.
for 286
Yes.
days, odds are you're probably not going to. You might win the first or second round, but you're not going to get the third round.
So against those teams, they're 55 and 23. So these are teams you don't bet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some fall into multiple categories, so you have to make a choice. But BYU,
Mhm.
Utah State, Colorado State, again, and New Mexico. High elevation.
Yeah.
Bet against those teams. I don't know who they're playing.
Oh man, it's gotta suck to be living in New Mexico in a high elevation area, and there's like no benefit to that.
What do you mean? It's
Well,
beautiful.
Think about it. Well,
Desert. Aliens could come down. You can
like
see
New Mexico is what Arizona didn't want, apparently, from what I've read. But they got a lot of nice rugs.
I hear a lot of people, a lot of celebrities live like in Albuquerque.
Isn't that where
Gene Hackman.
Gene
died.
Hackman was?
Yeah, no one was around.
Lowe's, let's build something together.
All right, we talked about the underdogs between 6.5 and 10.
Yeah.
They're 44 and 27 against the spread. That's High Point, Georgia, McNeese.
Wait, High Point got in?
Yeah.
Oh.
McNeese always snicks in somehow.
Liberty,
Mhm.
Yale, and Drake.
So what is it about these guys again? 40.
They're underdogs between 6.5 and 10 points.
Okay.
So they're underdogs when the spread is 6.5 to 10.
When they're getting 6.5
to
to 10. Yep.
High Point, McNeese.
So,
Who's
you know,
after McNeese?
Liberty,
Liberty,
Yale,
Yale, and Drake.
Drake.
not to be confused
High
with
Point.
Lamar.
High Point, Georgia, McNeese,
Georgia,
Liberty,
that's the
Yale,
one
and
that's-
Drake,
All right.
and Ludacris.
Flo Rida.
Oh, who's the Kendrick Lamar?
Lamar.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready for the next one?
Next tip from Foody.
Teams coming off 20-point losses in their previous game. You would think they wouldn't do good. Well, they're 27 and 15 against the spread in their first game.
Hmm.
So there's 4 of those teams. Some of these are repeats. So, you might want to bang it. BYU. No, that's an opposite. Alabama, Illinois, Kentucky. It's 3 states, Danny.
3 states and some Mormons.
Yep.
Technically 4.
And you're betting, what was the tip on these?
Those are teams you want to take.
Yeah.
But there's some contradictions.
BYU, yeah, you're canceling yourself out there.
Cancel that one out. So
Alabama, Illinois, and Kentucky, take those.
Kentucky's been mentioned twice now. So they really Bill's Troy upset.
I would love to see Troy do it.
Oh.
Oh, God, that would be so
He'll
great.
call me immediately.
Oh, man.
Did you see Troy? Okay, the 10 seed. Did we talk about this one? No,
No.
the 10 seed versus the 7 seed. Where the 10 has more regular season wins.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
somebody has 27 wins, the 7 has 26 wins. The 10 seeds are 1 and 14 straight up and against the spread.
Now, this again could cancel out
It could.
because you've got New Mexico
That's
against
right.
Marquette.
Mm-hmm.
New Mexico is 26 and 7 on the season. Marquette is 23 and 10 at the 7 seed. New Mexico at the 10 seed.
The 10 seeds are 1 and 14. So you don't want to take New Mexico.
All right, so we cancel each other out there.
No,
No New Mexico.
no New Mexico. We said the other team.
How about regular Mexico? No?
New Mexico's also the high altitude. Nothing happens in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay.
Utah State is the other team you don't want to take.
Okay.
Also mentioned before as somebody you don't want to take. They'll probably win.
Ah.
The Utes.
Where do you start watching, sir?
12 o'clock, 12:15.
On Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah,
yeah.
tomorrow. Home? No.
No, I'll be in the basement.
And then when do
Be
you
in
come
the
out?
basement.
When do you like come out to see
Well,
your shadow?
Saturday I got the baseball thing I got to do. Fantasy baseball.
They got a rotisserie draft.
Yeah.
With the third pick in the 2025 Fantasy Baseball Rotisserie Draft, Foody selects
Oh my God.
Aaron
Okay.
Judge.
All right. All right.
Good pick.
So you got to go out and get that?
I got to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do that remotely on a
I do. I
Oh,
do
all right.
remotely.
Yes.
He's got a lot
Yeah.
going on over
Yes, he
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
That-
life you got. What a
And
life.
it's back to the basement. Yeah.
Fantasy in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We got two more.
All right. Two more tips.
Two
I
more.
have 5 fantasies, but not about baseball.
Slow teams that play at a slow pace. That's 69 possessions or less.
Like Princeton used to.
Exactly. Like
Princeton offense, Billy.
that are favored by +6 to +9.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the underdog between +6 and +9 are 33 and 18 against the spread in the last 51 games. 17 outright winners in that matchup. All right, we got some repeats.
So, okay, cool.
Yeah. So Drake, McNeese, High Point, Yale, and Liberty. You mentioned all those already.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last one is free throws.
Free throws matter.
Free throws do matter. 77% or higher on the season. When the spread is 6 or less, those teams are 60 and 29 against the spread. When the spread is 4 or less, those teams are 41 and 18 against the spread.
Still
Wow.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you make your free throws, you win those close games.
Okay.
So for that, we got Gonzaga, Oregon, VCU, Vanderbilt, and Colorado State, which is a high elevation team.
Yeah.
So they cancel themselves out.
Man, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
Where
that's
did you research all this?
The internet.
Just looking and looking.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy shit. Just
It is. It's a lot.
bounces across.
It's a lot.
And then the fun fact, UConn's won back-to-back
Yes.
tournaments.
Yes.
They're also 12-0 against the spread that time.
Oh. Wow.
Just take the points.
Take the
For
points.
UConn. Always take the points.
Always take the points
All right.
till they lose.
Look at this.
Yeah, but you could take the points and they could still lose.
Yeah.
You could still get the if they're an underdog.
Yeah.
Which odds are if they're playing they're an 8
Well, the
seed.
first game,
Yeah,
I think
it's true.
probably the favorite.
What, Bill?
I wanted to go. This is Beth in your head. Could you please put the dishes in the dishwasher, not the sink?
Bro, I do the dishes and she rearranges them in the dishwasher.
Yeah, see, I know. Yes.
Did you guys talk about this at the parade?
No, we didn't
Okay.
talk about it at the parade. I'm just saying, like I can see it.
I'm a great husband
I'm not denying that.
and
But
insatiable
you
lover.
know all the okay, that I just threw up in my mouth. But I mean, you're great at like knowing all this stuff. Oh yeah, my niece. It's like I go, oh. But that's why I said, please put the dishes in the dishwasher. Didn't I tell you that?
It's like
before?
that episode of Married with Children where Christina Applegate's character, what was her name? Kelly?
Yeah.
She he fed her all these Al Bundy fed her all
Yeah.
these facts
Yeah, yeah.
for a game show. Todd Christensen was hosting it. And so he goes, her brain is full. We can't give her any more facts, right? So he goes, so when she go to ring the bell, he goes, no, ring the bell, honey. Don't jerk it. He tells her. Because she just lost a fact. So she answered all these questions. They get to the final round. This man scored 4 touchdowns for Polk High School in one game. And she didn't know the answer.
It's her dad.
It was Al.
Yeah.
That was the fact she lost.
All right, Foody, good stuff.
Yeah, great stuff, Foodie.
Good stuff. What's on
All
the
right.
menu for all this?
TK,
Yeah, TK Pizza.
TK's got great pizza.
Yeah.
maybe
that's it.
some chili.
All right. Okay.
In
That'll
the
smell nice
basement?
down in that basement.
Yeah.
Your basement in that basement
Yeah.
will be a mess. That's right.
It's
All right.
not my basement.
We'll close it out as you get ready for the big tournament. I think Dan's going to make some money, honestly.
I hope so.
I could see that
If I
happening.
make some money, I'll take you guys out for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. All right.
That's the kind of guy I am.
I know. You are a giver.
Yeah. Kevin could come. Greg could come.
Headaches you give. No,
But if you lose, Gambling is a risk
Gambling is a risk.
that you
Gambling
take
is
on yourself.
that is true.
My brother Ryan called me. He goes, "Hey, you and Bill should do a bit." I'm like, "Okay, what should we do?" "You should call one of those 1-800 gambling ads during the tournament and ask them what teams to pick because you have a gambling problem. You need help."
Oh,
I go, "Actually, that's a pretty good idea."
1-800.
Yeah,
I
like-
need gambling help.
Yeah, like
What
what
it says? Yeah,
yeah, one of those. Yeah, like for gambling
I
help.
thought this was gambling help.
Yeah,
You're
right.
supposed to help me.
Yeah, is McNeese gonna win this thing?
For Foody, nice to see you. For Dan Barillo, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
She was somewhere in Nevada, cold outside. She was shivering in the dark, so I offered her a ride. 3 banks out later, 4 cars hot and wide. Across from Mississippi, like an